पाइथन सीखेगा इंडिया कोर्स के 8वें दिन आपका स्वागत है। आज हम लोग एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में पढ़ेंगे जो कि हर प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में होता है। उसे कहते हैं लूप्स। लूप्स बेसिकली क्या करता है, आपके पास एक कोड का हिस्सा है कंपाइल और आप उसे बार बार रन कराना चाहते हैं। तो बार बार लिखने से अच्छा है कि उसे एक लूप में कन्वर्ट कर दिया जाए। ओके, तो ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है। जैसे कि कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है प्रोग्रामिंग में, वैसे लूप्स भी बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है प्रोग्रामिंग में। और इन दोनों की मदद से काफ़ी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड प्रोग्राम बनाए जा सकते हैं। तो देखते हैं लूप्स के बारे में। तो loops are used to run a block of code again and again based on some condition. Okay, there are two kinds of loop. First is called while loops and other is called for loops. Okay, we will learn about them one by one. So first we will start with while loop, and while loop has a simple structure. Okay, it also has a condition or test. Okay, based on some condition it will run a block of code again and again. An example of while code or while loop is the following. Suppose we have I equal to 1 and we have written the code while I less than equal to 6. So this is the test or condition it is asking. Okay, and whenever this condition is true, this code block that is underneath the while block is will run again and again. Okay, suppose the program will start from here, I equals to 1. It will ask I less than 6. Yes, print I. Okay, it will print the I, that is 1. It will print the 1. You can see the output. Let me move upward. And then the code will again go to while. Okay, the code will not go down. It will again go towards while. Okay, it will ask again. Now the value of I is 2 because it has been updated. Okay, after completion of this one loop, and now I is 2 and it will again ask 2 is less than 6. The answer is yes or true. Then it will print I, that is 2, and then again the value of I has been updated. Okay, so the value of I will be become 3, and in this way you can see that it will become 3, 4 and 5, and when it will reach to 6, this condition will fails and the program will terminate the loop or come out of the loop. In this way while loops work. Okay, so while loop also work based on some test, and it will ask each time whether the condition is true or not, and if condition is true, the while loop will run the code block inside it again and again till the condition fails. Okay, this is very important. In this way you can see that a block of code can be run again and again based on some test. While loops poses some difficulties as well, caveats you can say. Suppose we omit this line. Okay, if you omit this line, this loop will run forever because each time the value of I is 1 and it will print 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Let's first see the code and then we will see other thing. Let's check the output, and you can see that program is behaving like our intuition. So in the while loop there is one problem. I will warn you about this, that suppose if you don't update this condition such that after some time, after some finite number of iteration, you don't know ahead of time how many iteration it will take, but it there should be some condition in this code block such that this will become false sometime. Okay, otherwise this loop will go on. This is very important. Suppose I omit this line, okay, and run this code, this will run infinitely many times. In theory it will run forever. Okay, in practice it will not run forever because the laptop will have some lifetime and it will die or other conditions, but in theory it will run forever. And you can see that program is printing 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 because each time the value of I is 1 and 1 is less than 6, so it will run forever. So in while using this while loop, you must take care of this, that after some time your loop must be, your condition should become fail. Okay, this is very important. I have to terminate this program. Okay, so don't try to do these things on your mobile or other places. Now we will move to the next type of loops, and that is called for loops. For loop is different kind of a loop, and in the for loop, what we have some iterables. For example, list. Okay, iterables are data structure in any programming language in which things are stored in position wise, like this is 6 is in the first position, 5 is in second position, 3 is on the third position. So in such kind of if you have such kind of a structure, then you can iterate based on this position. Okay, and these are called for loops. Okay, again these things are ubiquitous in every programming language. Okay, so understanding idea is more important. Suppose you want to learn later another programming language, then the idea you learn from this lang about this loops conditional statement will help you. Okay, so we have a iterable like list, because data is stored with position, so we can iterate with respect to each position as the following code: for value in numbers. So this is also, you can see that this is also an condition, because this is a membership function, and we have seen that if value is inside number, then it will true or false. But there one more interesting thing will happen, that value will takes the element of number. Value behaves as a variable, and it will assign itself to the elements of the iterable or list here. Okay, so for example, if you run this code, then what we will do, value will assign itself to 6 first, and then it will run a block of code. Okay, when it finishes this block, 4 block, that is under this semicolon and with indentation of 4 space, there can be a large logical code here, and if you can do anything with this value 6. Okay, and then what happen, when the code completes this block, it will again go towards here. Okay, and then value is assigned to the next value, that is 5, and then it will again run the whole code block behaving that value is 5, and then 3, and when the value is assigned in to the last element of this list, it will terminate the loop. Okay, so based on some iterable, a number of you can run a block of code each times. Okay, for example, here you can see that first time value will be assigned to 6, so when you print value you will get 6. After this first iteration, a value will be assigned to 5, so it will print 5, and so on, and you can see that after this 5, last element 5, it will terminate this code. Okay, so the code will come out of the loop, and if there are more lines of code beneath this, it will run and start following those lines. Okay, so this is another very important kind of structure in programming, and let's see, take some output. So the behavior is very, you can do anything with this. For example, we want to find the square of this. So now the square of each number is printed. You can do other things as well, other interesting. Suppose you have sum equal to 0, some variable, and you can update this variable. Okay, so sum plus equal to, that is, this is equal to sum equal to sum plus the value. Okay, and now we will not print sum here, and when our code completes, we will come out the loop and print the sum. Okay, this is a general style of code which is used with for loops. Okay, we define some variable before the loops, we update that variable and do some calculation with the elements of this list, and we will later get those variable. Okay, this is a general way for loops are used. Okay, you can see that output, and you can see that the sum of number is now 33. So 33 will be sum of this number. What happens actually in the beginning, before the loop, the value of sum is 0, and each time whenever the value is assigned to one of this number, it will update the sum. So sum will become, for the first time, sum will become sum, that is 0 plus 6. So sum will become 6. In the next iteration, sum is 6, so sum plus value is 5, so 6 plus 5 is 11. So in the next iteration, sum will be 11. Okay, and in the final case we have 13. You can also print the sum each time. Okay, you can see that. So first time it is 6, then 11, then 14, 23, and in the last iteration we got 33. And this is a general style in which for loops works. Now we will learn some more thing about the loops, and I have already discussed this code. Now based on some condition, we can also use condition or tests, that is the statement which output a boolean value, to break some loop in between. Okay, so first condition is break. First what you call syntax is break. So break, what we will do, suppose some condition met, suppose you are searching for the number 3. Okay, so what happened, whenever you got the number 3, you want to terminate this code. Okay, you don't want to unnecessarily run the rest part of this code. Okay, so what happened, the numbers, we have same list of the numbers, and for value in numbers, if val is equal to 3, okay, then break. So whenever you will reach this value 3, the program, what we will do, it come out of loop, it will not run rest part of the loop. Okay, many times you are searching some properties or some element based on some property, then what, if you found that element, then why will you want to run the rest part of this code? You just come out of it. Okay, this is a very good technique. You can see that the program runs 6, 5, and once he got 3, it will break itself. Okay, check it. So paste this and run this code. You can see that program has run only twice. Okay, 6, 5, and on the third iteration we will get 3. So the program will come out of the loop and loop is terminated. Now we will go, another statement is continue. So continue, what we will do, it will, see, there is a minor difference between break and continue. Continue does different kind of a thing, it will leave that iteration. Okay, break will come out of the loop, whole loop, it will skip all the iteration once the condition is met. But what this will do, continue, it will skip that iteration. Okay, because in this program we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 iteration. Okay, so break left or skips all these iteration. But what continue does, once the condition is met, it will skip that iteration only. Okay, to illustrate this code, I will change this with continue. Okay, now what happens, see, only one iteration will be skipped, that is when value is equal to 3, rest iteration will be followed. You can see that only 3 will not get printed. You can see that only 3 will not get printed because this print function is used after continue. Okay, so once this condition is met, it will skip all the code behind this. Okay, and it will proceed to next iteration, that is 8. So you can see that 8 will be printed, 4 will be printed, and other things will be printed. Okay, so this is the difference between break and continue. Break will skip all the iteration, while continue will skip only that iteration. Okay, now one more optional syntax which is used with this loops, for loops, is pass. This is also used in other cases as well. You will see that it can be also used with conditional statement, and pass does nothing. Pass will just skip that code. Means it doesn't print anything, it doesn't do anything. Pass means just go. Okay, you are free. So for example, or in this code we will use pass. Okay, and let's see what happens. So in this case you will not find any difference, but this is often used to look better codes, basically, because it is not considered good that your program should go out of a loop or conditional statement abruptly. Okay, so that's why pass statement is used. It is also used with if and only statement, if and else statement, sorry. So range function we have already studied, so I will not going to cover. Let's check this code. And you can see that pass is actually used with if else condition. Okay, so whenever this condition, that is value is, this is modulus operation, or it checks with remainder. So whenever this condition is met, the program will do nothing and it will pass. Okay, and else. So here is an important use of this pass function, that if this condition is true, you want to pass. Okay, you want to do nothing. Okay, and in the else part you want that the code has to do something. Okay, that is printing the value. Okay, here, so you can see that whenever this condition is met, the code will do nothing, while when the condition doesn't met, it will print the value. In this way the pass function is used. Okay, so you can see that only output are odd numbers because this condition checks for even number. Because we know that whenever we divide any number with 2, the remainder is 0 in the case of even numbers. तो लूप्स में बस इतना ही. अब हम लोग रिवीजन कर लेते हैं जल्दी से लूप के बारे में. हाँ, लूप्स क्या है? लूप एक ऐसा मेथड है जिससे हम किसी कोड को, किसी पार्ट ऑफ कोड को, उसे हम कोड ब्लॉक हालांकि कहते हैं, कोड ब्लॉक को बार बार रन कराने में यूज होता है. ओके, दो तरह के लूप होते हैं. पहला लूप कहलाता है वाइल लूप, दूसरा लूप कहलाता है फोर लूप. वाइल लूप कैसे काम करता है? वाइल लूप काम करता है किसी कंडीशन के आधार पे. ओके, वो कंडीशन जब तक ट्रू होगी वाइल लूप चलता रहेगा. ऊपर आते हैं, वाइल लूप रन करता रहेगा. जैसे ही वो कंडीशन फॉल्स होगी, प्रोग्राम उस पूरे कोड ब्लॉक को लीव कर देगा, वो नीचे चला जाएगा नेक्स्ट लाइन की तरफ. ओके, अदरवाइज इट विल कीप कमिंग हियर. ओके, हमेशा ये वाइल स्टेटमेंट के ऊपर आएगा, फिर से रन करेगा. ये लूप चलता, इसलिए इसका नाम लूप है. लूप मीन्स समथिंग सर्कुलर. ओके, ये चलता रहेगा. ओके, बस ये ध्यान देने वाली बात है कि इसमें एक कंडीशन का यूज होता है वाइल के साथ. और ये कंडीशन आप ऐसा बनाइए इन प्रैक्टिस कि ये कुछ समय बाद, कुछ क्राइटेरिया पूरा होने के बाद ये फॉल्स हो जाए. वाइल लूप की एक अच्छी बात यह है कि आपको ये जानने की ज़रूरत नहीं कि मेरा कोड 10 बार रन करेगा, 100 बार में किसी काम को अचीव करेगा या 1000 बार में करेगा। लेकिन अगर आपको पता है कि वो अचीव कर लेगा, तो आप उस कंडीशन को यहाँ दीजिए और कुछ ऐसा कंडीशन नीचे कोड ब्लॉक में ज़रूर दीजिए कि वो जो है, ये जो कंडीशन है जिससे वाइल लूप चल रहा है, वो फॉल्स हो जाए कुछ समय बाद। अदरवाइज वो प्रोग्राम जो है हमेशा रन करता ही रहेगा। और ये वाइल लूप के साथ प्रॉब्लम है, कई बार हम लोग उस कंडीशन को ठीक से नहीं लिख पाते, तो वाइल लूप रन करता रहता है हमेशा। और कई बार कंप्यूटर्स हैंग भी हो जाते हैं, अगर कोड हैवी है, उसके नीचे वाला कैलकुलेशन हैवी है, तो कंप्यूटर हैंग हो सकता है और आपका प्रोग्राम भी रुक सकता है। तो इस तरह हम लोग वाइल लूप का यूज करते हैं। फॉर लूप ज़्यादा यूज होता है एक्चुअली प्रोग्रामिंग में, एटलीस्ट मैंने अभी तक अनुभव किया है कि फॉर लूप्स का यूज ज़्यादा है। और फॉर लूप सिंपल है, अगर आपके पास कोई भी आइट्रेबल है, आइट्रेबल मतलब कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ है जिसमें पोजीशन वाइज डेटा स्टोर्ड है, यहाँ जो कि सबसे सिंपल एग्जांपल है उसका एक लिस्ट। स्ट्रिंग भी ऐसा एग्जांपल है, स्ट्रिंग भी एक आइट्रेबल है, हम लोग देख चुके हैं क्योंकि हम लोग स्ट्रिंग पर आइट्रेट कर सकते हैं। तो उसके हर वैल्यू पर पोजीशन वाइज एक एक वैल्यू लेना है और उस पर कोई कोड ब्लॉक रन कराना है, या कुछ कंडीशन उसके बेसिस पे हमको, कंडीशन नहीं, पूरा ब्लॉक, कोई कैलकुलेशन ही पूरा करना है, तो आप कर सकते हैं। और आप उसके जो है फाइनल वैल्यू उससे प्रिंट कर सकते हैं। आप चाहें तो अंदर भी कुछ कर सकते हैं और इस वैल्यू की मदद से कुछ वेरिएबल ऊपर डिफाइन करके उसको अपडेट भी कर सकते हैं। ये दो टेक्निक में ये लूप जनरली यूज होता है। तो इस तरह आप फॉर लूप का यूज कर सकते हैं। फॉर लूप के साथ 3 स्पेशल सिंटैक्स और कहते हैं जो इसे, इसकी फंक्शनैलिटी को बढ़ाते हैं। पहला है ब्रेक। और ब्रेक क्या करता है, अगर कोई कंडीशन मेट हो जाए प्रोग्राम में, तो पूरे लूप से बाहर आ जाता है, यानी कि आपको ये बचाता है बाकी पूरे लूप को सर्च करने से। ये बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है एक्चुअली। मेनी टाइम्स अगर आपका आइट्रेबल बहुत बड़ा है, तो आप उस समय आपको ये हेल्पफुल है कि आपको एक जैसे आप कोई एलिमेंट उसमें सर्च कर रहे हैं, वो जैसे ही कंडीशन मेट करेगा, वो बाकी का लूप इजेक्ट हो जाएगा प्रोग्राम। उसके बाद दूसरा है कंटिन्यू। कंटिन्यू मान लीजिए हमें सारा नहीं आइट्रेशन स्किप करना है, हमें सिर्फ वो आइट्रेशन स्किप करना है जिसमें वो कोड मेट हो जाए। जैसे कि हमको ये कैलकुलेशन सिर्फ इवन नंबर के साथ करनी है, तो हम सिर्फ ऑड नंबर वाली सॉरी, अगर हमें कोई कैलकुलेशन ऑड नंबर पे करनी है तो हम इवन नंबर को ऐसे ही कंटिन्यू कर देंगे, और ऑड नंबर पे कोई कैलकुलेशन करेंगे तो आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ ऑड नंबर प्रिंट हो रहे हैं, इवन नंबर पास होते जा रहे हैं। और पास एक ऑप्शनल आर्गुमेंट है, ये जनरली इफ एल्स स्टेटमेंट के साथ यूज होता है। आपको कोई पार्ट ऑफ कोड इल्स एफ एल्स इफ इस तरह का, ये एक्चुअली कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट का ही में ज़्यादा यूज होता है। और अगर आपको कोई पार्ट ऑफ कोड स्किप करना है तो वहाँ आप पास लगा सकते। तो आज के लिए इतना ही। थैंक यू वेरी मच।